Hello, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to today's video. The video probably won't be too exhaustive, but it's kind of a fun step we're taking in this drawing. I want to remind you this drawing, what we're working on is we're emphasizing our values, our lights and darks. And so hopefully you've created a nice looking collage that has a nice range of values, some things that are very dark, some things that are white or light, and some mediums and stuff. And we're going to practice getting this as dark as we can. Anyway, to get us started with what I'm about to do today, which is the transferring of your design, make sure that you already have your collage done. Make sure that you have submitted your collage as an assignment to me, and that I've made some comments on it, so that you have a collage that both of us feel like is a strong enough design that'll make for a nice project. Because this project will, total a good amount of points as compared to some other things. I'd like a chance at helping you make it as strong as it can be. So once you have your collage done, you're going to make a photocopy of it. So your collage is kind of thick and it has all these layers, so it's not going to work for transferring, but the photocopy will. So I need your photocopy. I'm going to hang on to my collage. I'll need it later. Hang on to your collage. And then I'm going to need some other things. I need a ballpoint pen, just like the old school pen that people used to use. And then if you can get a red or a blue, it's even better, but black is fine. A gel pen will work, it's just fine. But if you have something like a marker, the tips are too sharp and they can cut the paper. So I wouldn't recommend that. So if you can't get one of these cheap pens, and then maybe go ahead and use the gel type pen. You need in your baggie, there's this yellow pencil, and actually my mother did it for you. Thank you, Grandma Marcia. Anyway, there's a pencil with some tape wrapped around it. You need this. It's like, well, what is that? You need it today. This is called artist tape. It's really cool stuff, and we're going to need some. Probably need an eraser. And then about midway through your pack of papers, you see something, and this is your graphite paper. There's a piece of newsprint folded around it, so it's 9.5 by, it's 9 by 12. But inside this folded piece of newsprint is a piece of graphite paper. And what graphite paper is, it's a light piece of tissue paper, and on one side of it, you can see one side's a little darker than the other side. On one side of it, it has graphite applied to it. And graphite's the same material that's inside a pencil. So what we're going to transfer is going to actually be the same material as a pencil. But you need to look in your packet of papers. You're going to look for this thing that's folded in half. It's kind of pretty close to the middle. And then you're going to pull it out. We're going to be using it in just a minute. If you don't have one of these, they're kind of fun to use, and I would have to say you might have to come to school and get one, but don't give up. Look through your papers a couple times, because I'm pretty sure there's one of these in there. And then you're also going to need a large piece of drawing paper from your packet. It has a smooth, even finish, so there's no grid. That'd be charcoal paper. This has a smooth finish. It's very soft, and it's 9 inches by 18 inches. So it's like a double-sized piece of paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your photocopy of your collage, and we're going to put it on top of this piece of paper, and we're going to center it. If you want to, if you're the type that likes to do things right, if you want to actually get a ruler and center it, that would be fine. But you're going to put it right on the piece of paper, right in the middle if you can. So here I have it centered. And then we have this wonderful stuff called artist tape. Artist tape, you can see my design is slightly to the, I'm going to move it slightly over to the left because it printed slightly to the right. Tape is called artist tape. I'm going to need 2 small pieces of it. You're going to need it a couple more times this year, so don't get rid of it. If you want to go back and buy a roll of it, it's like $8 a roll, so be nice, just let me buy it for you this time. Got a little dirty in the baggie, that's going to be okay. Anyway, we need a couple pieces of this tape. Now your drawing can be horizontal or vertical on the paper, and then you're going to use artist tape. to tape it onto the paper in at least 2 places. The reason why we're not doing one place is one piece can wobble on you, but 2 is just like it takes 2 points to show a line. 2 is much more stable, and you're just going to place it there. What's great about artist tape is you can stick it on your paper. It takes a certain amount of abuse and even can be there a couple of days. You pull it off and you haven't ripped your paper. So the artist tape is actually really cool. It's a very common supply if you like to draw with pencils a lot or other things. It also doesn't yellow your paper. Like masking tape has a lot of abrasive things and will add like a yellow stain. Artist tape doesn't do that. So it doesn't add a stain, and it's also made to be taken back off again. The only exception would be if you screw it down really, really hard and then you just ripped it as hard as you could. Yeah, I managed to rip the paper there. I don't know if you can tell. Here it is. So don't scrub down really, really hard, and don't pull it off real fast and rip it. So you do it carefully. It's made to come off your paper. That's its purpose. So what I've done is I put my photocopy there, and it's kind of like a flap. My next step is I'm going to get my newsprint paper. Remember, it's inside a folded piece of my graphite paper, which is inside a folded piece of newsprint, and it has 2 sides. So the darker side has the graphite, and the lighter side is just tissue paper. So we want the darker side, and we want it to print on the paper. So we're going to put it under here with the darker side facing down. So just to double check on what I've done, my darker side is facing the paper, pushing down. So now I have it all set up. Some people like to put more tape on the drawing. I don't think you have to. It's pretty stable with just 2 pieces of tape right there. Then we're going to get your pen that you've chosen. Don't use a pencil is going to give you kind of a chubby line, but the pen's not. And you're basically going to draw right on top of your drawing and transfer all the lines you're going to need. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to draw the little squirrels lines. I don't need every single detail there, but I might want some of those details. So let's say I wanted to show as a reference to myself where a couple of these lines are. So I've given myself that reference. And I'm drawing around here. I don't know if you noticed it. Okay, now my pen's not working. I have another one. That was unexpected because I tried to make sure the pen worked. That little foot was broken off, so I'm going to draw it as if it has that little foot there, and I'll kind of have to kind of fake it in my drawing. Line kind of, I can see a line here. I'm going to transfer all the way around the ear. There's a line here. So if I can see an actual line, I'm probably going to transfer it. If I don't really see a line, then it's shading. And sometimes I'll want a little mark so I know where something is. And I'm pushing down, not ridiculously hard, but hard enough. Don't be soft about it or you won't be able to see. I can see a couple more interior lines. Okay, I'm not going to transfer my lights and darks. I'm going to leave those alone. So I'm just transferring an outline of the squirrel. Now I'm going to take a peek at it and say, oh, did this work? And look, there's my squirrel. What's really cool, oh, I can peek and also see I missed a line right back here. Add that line. And I believe I got that line in. So now I'm going to peek at it again. How's my squirrel looking? Okay, that's great. I can work with it now. And then I'm going to continue to work on other parts of the drawing to transfer them down. So what's great about the graphite paper is, by the way, it kind of gets used up. It starts getting lines on it, you can see. But you can use a graphite paper a few times. It's not like use it once, throw it away. So you should save it after we use it. It's probably going to come in handy, and you're really going to like it. Another thing about the graphite paper, or about this project, is when you see a line here, like a straight edge that's really nice and clean. I don't happen to have a ruler with me, so I'm just going to use this straight edge. If you have a line like that, I would go ahead and definitely transfer some of these outside lines. I'm going to leave it open where it's open and transfer it where I can see it. See that line? That's going to look a lot better in my drawing, having transferred that line. And then if you have something here, kind of a scumbly something, I'm going to make my line around the edge of it slightly scumbly, because I don't want to have a line that's too hard to work with later. So I'm just going to scumble that. So I have my tree kind of outlined there, and maybe I want to show where there's a couple branches. I'm going to refer that in for later. By the way, if something's white, outline around it, because obviously I don't want to draw a dark line where something is light. So then I put that bush on, and then I can work my way through the project, finding all the details I can find. The only thing I'm not doing is I'm not filling in my lights and darks. I'm not filling in textures. I'm not, you know, doing too many details. I'm just doing it. It's as if it's a coloring book version of my, I can see it change in my values here, so I'm going to go ahead and draw it in. A coloring book version of my drawing. So then I've transferred some more. So you're going to go through your whole drawing like this and transfer it, so that, like I said, don't worry about how hard it is to draw what you're drawing. We're transferring. You're going to have a whole transferred drawing there. I would say it's going to take you probably, it depends on your drawing, and it depends on how much you transfer. Like here on these leaves, I would definitely, of course, transfer the outside part. And I would also transfer some of these inside pieces for reference. I'm avoiding drawing where I see a light line. I'm going to kind of draw around it. So I'm not doing all the leaf. I'm just doing the outside of it. So you're going to go through your whole drawing. One thing I wanted to comment as you go, if you lean too hard on it or push with your newsprint paper, I wouldn't shift it around. You start getting these smudges here and there. So I would get rid of those as you go. If you have a dark smudge and you keep leaning on it, the surface of your paper is soft, and you're going to push your smudge down into your paper, and you won't be able to get it out at a certain point. So erase your smudges as you go. Don't let them get kind of embedded. I also, if you didn't pick up on the idea, if something's wrong or you wanted to change something, don't forget this is graphite. So this could be erased, okay? Especially if you don't push too hard with your pen. So if something needed to be changed or something's wrong, you can erase it and work with it. I would say once you've taped it down, don't move it. Take the time to center it. What you're going to do today is you're going to transfer your whole design. We're not going to do any of the filling in yet. I want to talk about the design after it's filled in. So I would say just transfer it. When it's all done, take your piece of graphite, put it back in its little folder, and put it and save it, because we might need to use it again. And by the way, it's hard to get. You buy a package of like a bunch of sheets for $25. So if I'm giving you a little sheet, hang on to it. It's nice to have around. So you're going to turn that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to, when it's all done, gently pull this off, take a picture of your outline for your collage, and then you're going to send it to me. And that's your assignment for today. So stop. When this is done, just stop, take a picture. You're probably going to want to start drawing it in. Like I said, I'd like you to stop. I want to talk about the next step. But you will have a lot of time for it. I hope this is kind of a fun day, and people usually like it because their whole image is transferred, and it's kind of fun way to get to draw something that maybe would be challenging another time, and you maybe wouldn't want to have done it. So I'm going to go back out. So graphite paper, dark side facing down. You might want to double check it when you're drawing and make sure it's transferring. If it's upside down, you'd be drawing on the back of here. So make sure dark side faces down. Don't push too hard on it. Just take your time. And that's all for today. You'll be taking a picture, sending it to the project, and actually kind of fun. And we'll talk more about the project later. Thank you.